Hey, this is Buck Dharma of Blue Oyster Cult, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course the king of all, those gigantic cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had, probably the best you ever have as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call, find out what's for dinner, 714-948-0100, 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. And a big welcome in everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Everybody watching Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, WOW, and Spectrum, plus independent cable affiliates from coast to coast, as well as Hotel TV, that's where applicable, and Hotel TV as well, where applicable. And also everybody streaming on Pick Your Favorite Streamer and Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Check that out. Fun group. Talk about your favorite foods, your favorite restaurants, favorite recipes. Make some friends, have some fun at Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Now, also, our friends over at Vacation Buddies are giving away a couple of nights right here in Las Vegas if you're good at answering trivia questions. Here in Vegas or in Orlando, Florida, or in Branson, Missouri, if you can answer a simple trivia question. Which of these three is the tallest structure in Las Vegas? Is it A, the Stratosphere Tower at the Strat, B, the Eiffel Tower at the Paris Hotel and Casino, or C, the Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with this station, but they want to give you a couple of nights right here in Vegas, Orlando, Florida, or Branson, Missouri, if you know the answer to that very simple trivia question. If so, 888-576-5777. Call now. All right. I mean, look, this is the middle of the winter meetings for Major League Baseball, but yes, there's football news because there's always football news. And this one is just an absolute head scratcher. And you could just keep on scratching your head till the cows come home and you still won't understand this one. How in the world and why in the world would the Indianapolis Colts sign Phillip Rivers? Well, listen. There's really not a lot of choices out there, I suppose. But yes, the Colts signed Phillip Rivers to the practice squad, which means, of course, he's going to end up playing on the big club probably this coming week. It is what it is. So, and this is according to Indy Star. They say there are many unusual prop bets available during the Super Bowl, length of Star Spangled Banner, the color of Gatorade dunked on the winning coach, heads or tails of the pregame coin tossed, how many times a Stars player's wife is mentioned, and so forth. But the Indianapolis Colts did the unthinkable, signing a 44-year-old player that's been out of the business for quite some time, and that would be Phillip Rivers. And of course, he takes the whole prop bet idea to a whole new level, according to Pick Your Favorite betting organization. So Phillip Rivers prop bet from a particular company. I'm not going to plug them because they don't pay us. And they say the Colts visited this. They're visiting the Seahawks in week number 15. And if you have a few dollars to spare, this particular betting organization online has the following bets. They say, what will the CBS broadcast show first? Phillip Rivers' grandchild at, you guessed it, a minus 200. That's right, it's a 2-1. And he is 2 weeks removed from coaching his high school team in the state playoffs? Or what will happen first? Rivers penalized for taunting plus 550, or Rivers rushing for a touchdown minus 1,000, which basically is 10-1. All right, this is crazy. Now, Rivers is well known for his robust but clean trash talk. This guy, in my opinion, is the biggest mouth that football has seen in the last 50 years. Now, of course, he does have 3 rushing touchdowns in 17 seasons, mostly, better yet, most recently, 14 years ago. Now, which will be higher? Another prop bet. Philip Rivers' number of children, 10, or the yardage of his first completion. I mean, these are good. I like these, I have to tell you. This is good stuff. And yes, there are more prop bets just because. Here's another one. How many of Rivers' kids will attend the game? The over and under is 4.5. And I think it's because he has 10 kids. All right, another proposition bet. Which will be higher in Week 16 when the Colts host San Francisco? Rivers diaper changing at plus 150, or Rivers pass completion at minus 200. And here's another one. Will Philip Rivers be on an NFL roster in Week 1 of the 2026 seasons? Yes, plus 600. You get a 6-1 shot. Or no, you got to lay 1,500 for 100.
Show me the money!
I mean, this is crazy, but these are fun too, though. So if you like those weird bets, there's a lot of people that like those weird bets. I mean, look, Philip, we don't even know what kind of shape he's in. We have no idea. And let's say he's in great shape, hypothetically. Well, remember, there is game day speed, and then there is practice speed. How do you get to game day speed when you've been off of a roster for years? That's the bigger question. What's his arm strength like? It's always been pretty good. I don't really know what's going to happen with this guy, but I tell you, this is probably the most entertaining news above all other news today. Yes, there are big Major League Baseball signings and so forth. None that are real shockers. But this one absolutely is an enormous shocker to a lot of people. And, I mean, look, they say, I mean, one of the Colts insiders say, gambling involves risk. Please only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. Okay, whatever. Anyway, no, he didn't say that. My point is that was for the betting idea. My point is with this is there is a lot of conversation about Philip Rivers and his ability, his age, his passing yards, days between games, Hall of Fame possibilities. Now, of course, this is going to reset the Hall of Fame clock on top of it. How about the Colts quarterback Brett Rippon, his age, stats, salary, and transactions, as opposed to Philip Rivers? What will the Colts owner, remember the Irsay family, now you have the 2 ladies that run the show. So Carly Irsay Gordon, what's going on after the injury-fueled collapse of the Colts? Now, they seem to be in a death spiral right now, and so they're so desperate. They're saying, okay, we need somebody. We need somebody with experience, somebody that knows the game. And let's face it, if you look at what's out there right now, what quarterbacks are available right now, you say, is Philip Rivers the best option over Taylor Heineke? He's a very experienced spot starter. Well, obviously Joe Flacco's not around. Teddy Bridgewater is not around available. Carson Wentz may be available. How about Nate Sudfeld? Right, you look at these other guys. How about Bailey Zappi? Now, there's a guy that seems to be somebody that probably could have been had. And let's face it, if they really were desperate, if the Colts were that desperate, they could have made a deal for Russell Wilson. At least Russell Wilson, he's old, but he's still playing and he's still capable. And right now, guess what? Russell's not really playing now, is he? So what happens with Russell Wilson? Yeah, Russell, maybe he could be made available by the New York Football Giants for a broken Coke machine or something to the effect, because Jackson Dart is their guy right now, and Jackson's playing pretty well. So Russell Wilson seems to be available. And there are some other guys, but I'm looking at guys like Taylor Heineke, and Taylor Heineke is a quality player. I really believe that he's one of those guys that could step in and do something. And again, even Carson Wentz is available. And Carson, he had a really, really promising career until he got that one injury. And I remember the game, I want to say it was about week 11 or something like that with the Philadelphia Eagles. And that was maybe even week 12. The Eagles were rolling in 2016. And Carson Wentz got injured. He was rolling out to the near side of the field, and he got hammered trying to run the ball. And it just seemed like that completely changed everything in his career. All it took was one rollout. That's why I'm scared for guys like Caleb Williams and all those other rollout RPO quarterbacks. Those guys are putting themselves in harm's way by not staying in the tackle box. That's what's good about Bo Nix. Bo Nix stays in the tackle box where he belongs. Brock Purdy stays in the tackle box where he belongs. He doesn't roll out and try to do all kinds of crazy creative things. One of these days, there's going to be a bad knee injury, an arm injury, separated shoulder, broken leg. Who the hell knows? All I know is you're just begging for trouble once you leave the tackle box. That's the bigger problem. That's why guys like Aaron Rodgers have been around for so long. Yes, he does roll out, but he moves the pocket. The other guys, they don't move the pocket. They don't know how to move the pocket at this point. Anyway, we're going to be back here with some baseball. I just wanted to get that Phillip Rivers story out there. I mean, it's one of those weird ones, but we're going to be back here in a few minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere. Baseball to come.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at
714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100.
Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by our friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com. Check them out, folks. All right, welcome back to everybody listening in on all of our affiliates, including our friends over in Atlanta. Thanks for waking up with us, listening in on WDJY 99.1 FM over in Atlanta, over in Auburn, Alabama. As a matter of fact, from Columbus, Georgia, over to Montgomery, WAUD right there out of Auburn. That's home of the Atlanta Braves. Thanks for driving home and listening with us. Up and down the Midwest, out to the West Coast, those driving between sunny Southern California and Las Vegas, listening in while driving up and down Interstate 15 and in Baker and Barstow and Victorville and all those areas, listening in on 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM Highway Country Radio. That's also home of the Vegas Golden Knights, the Raiders, and the Sports Circus at 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Up and down the West Coast, out to Honolulu, CBS Sports 1500, KHKA. Thanks for joining us over there. That's home of the New York Yankees, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Alabama Crimson Tide, plus everybody listening in on Pick Your Favorite Streamer, as well as our television outlets and in hotel TV where applicable. By the way, folks, in case you're just tuning in, our friends over at Vacation Buddies, we're giving away a couple of nights right here in Vegas, Orlando, Florida, or in Branson, Missouri. If you can answer a simple trivia question, I'm going to repeat the question just in case you're tuning in right now and you missed it. Which of these three is the tallest structures in Las Vegas? Is it A, the Stratosphere Tower at the Strat, B, the Eiffel Tower at the Paris Hotel and Casino, C, the Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with the station, but they want to give you a couple of nights right here in Vegas, Orlando, or Branson. If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777. Call now. They seem to be in a death spiral. They're spinning out of control. Anyway, Major League Baseball. We're in the second, third days, whatever, of the winter meetings. And, of course, I'd love to be there right now, but sorry, here in Vegas, not in Orlando. However, top position players that are still out there right now. Kyle Tucker right now is widely considered the top overall free agent. And look, this guy's going to get a ginormous contract, and rightfully so. He's one of those guys. If you have Kyle Tucker on your team, you have a chance to win the World Series. He's just one of those players, a bona fide five-tool player. And the guy plays all the time. He's got a great glove. He can steal bases, hits for power, hits for average. The guy's got a cannon for an arm. Look, he is the real deal. Kyle Tucker absolutely, unequivocally should be re-signed by the Northsiders in Chicago, but I don't think they have the money for him because they're actually looking elsewhere. And I just don't understand it. They say, well, you know, we have a lot of offensive firepower, so we're going to go ahead and pursue those other options. Maybe we're going to pick up some more pitching. Whatever the case, Cubs had decent pitching last season. All they need, frankly, if Assad can stay healthy, Imanaga is good, and they've got a few other guys that are really good. Remember, they have Horton too. And so there are three solid rotation guys right there. You got a 1, 2, and 3. And frankly, if you have those three, you could basically plug in one or two second or third level guys, and you could shore up your pitching. And let's face it, when you're looking for middle relievers and closers, you go into your system and take your best long guys, your best starters, whatnot. You can throw them in the pen for experience, and the Dodgers already proved that with Roki Sasaki. Sasaki is starting pitcher, a very good starting pitcher, but guess what? The Dodgers were smart enough to move Sasaki to the pen to give him some reps. That's how he was going to get his, because there was no room in the starting rotation for him. Now, we'll see what happens when, of course, Clayton Kershaw now being retired, and the Dodgers made a big deal signing Edwin Diaz from the New York Metropolitans. So therefore, if you look at it this way, Diaz will take the bullpen spot. So now you have Kopech right now and Diaz in the pen and Sasaki. And maybe with Clayton Kershaw retiring, that leaves room for Sasaki to go into the starting rotation. So it kind of makes a little sense. But back to the position players. Kyle Tucker is the golden egg right now for position players available. Also, Cody Bellinger. Remember, he plays the outfield. Also, he plays first base. And this guy, a former MVP, in case you don't remember, he has significant power and incredible defensive versatility. This guy is a really, really good player. I don't see him going back to the Dodgers. Will the Yankees re-sign him? Probably. If they don't, I think they're foolish because you need guys like him around. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's hitting behind Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has had, of course, an MVP year. It just seems reasonable that Bellinger re-signs with the New York Yankees. Pete Alonso, another guy, I don't see him leaving the New York Mets. I just can't see it. I mean, a real, true elite power. He's born and bred, or better yet, homegrown through the New York Mets system. It would only make sense for him to spend his days with the New York Mets. And I think he's about 29 or 30 years of age right now. And Alonso should be a lifer in that Mets jersey, in the same way Aaron Judge should be in the Yankees jersey. And I guess the problem that I have with Pete Alonso's deals with Cohen, the ownership of the New York Mets, is that they won't commit to a long-term deal. Now, I see both sides of it. A long-term deal has its pluses and minuses. I'm a guy that says, okay, let's go ahead and sign a 5-year deal, but it's going to look like a team, or the player's going to get maybe a 3-year guarantee, because that's usually what they want. And then it should be a team option for years 4 and 5. Now, those always seem to make sense. Now, in the signing of Kyle Schwarber, Kyle re-signed with the Philadelphia Phillies for all the right reasons. Somebody close to me in the Reds organization told me that they were too far apart financially. I talked about him in a previous show, and it seemed to me that the Reds were looking to sign him for $22-23 million a year, where the Mets gave him $30 million a year. And let's face it, folks, $7 million, let's say $5 to $7 million a year difference times 5 years. I mean, come on. That's the $25 to $35 million difference. That's how much the Phillies wanted him. So why in the world would he take a gigantic hometown discount when he could just simply fly his private jet back and forth between Philadelphia and Ohio to see the family? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So Kyle Schwarber did what's best for Kyle Schwarber. And you know what? Good for Kyle Schwarber for doing what he did. Good for the Phillies for making the deal. And bad for the Reds for not extending over and above what the Phillies were able to offer. Because the Reds just squeaked into the playoffs last year, but they desperately need a big bopper. And Schwarber was the best bat out there. So now what do? The Reds can't go take Alex Bregman because they went and committed a bunch of money and time and a position to Ke'Bryan Hayes to play third base. Alex Bregman is a third baseman. And he's a much, much better hitter than Hayes. So what do you do with Hayes? Hayes is a defensive specialist, as they say. Do you put Alex Bregman into a designated hitter role and you take him? Why would you do that when he's a Gold Glover? Oh, hell no. Look, Bregman is a proven all-star seeking a big payday after opting out. He's not going to get it from the Reds because apparently the Reds don't want to pay anybody. They paid Pagan a ridiculous, idiotic, in my opinion, 2-year deal for a guy that has 1.5 pitches. I don't get it. And then you still have the Santillon issue. So what are the Reds going to do in the bullpen? Who the hell knows? But the Reds obviously didn't make a deal for Edwin Diaz, and they're not going to make a deal for anybody else that doesn't fit their financial profile. Business, 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 and they're really dropping the ball. So what's going to happen now with Bo Bichette? A very young, high-level shortstop with a very strong bat. Where does Bo Bichette go to? Does he re-sign with the Toronto Blue Jays, who basically won the World Series, but then they gave it away in the 9th inning of Game 7? What do you do with Bo Bichette? I think they re-sign him. I think it's idiotic if they don't. There are teams that need a shortstop, But the problem is Bichette is a 300 hitter. He steals bases. He gets on base. He's got a really good arm. The guy is a good player. And I think it would be remarkably irresponsible of the Blue Jays to let him go. So these are your top position players. And geez, any place those players can go to. And then we have transactions and we have the draft and all that whatnot to get to. But I can assure you that when we look at what's going on in Major League Baseball, look, this is the rich get richer. Make no mistake, folks. If you've got big bankroll, if you have the ability to show me the money, they will show the big contracts, and this is when the monster contracts are signed. It's not done during spring training. It's not done late in the season. It's not done early in the season. No, these things are done now when these players have some time off to relax. What the hell's going to happen with Marte? We don't even know what's going to happen with Marte from the Diamondbacks. So right now he is highly, highly sought after by a bunch of teams. Red Sox are interested. The Mets are interested. They're interested in everybody, basically. But I guess the bigger question is, what's going to happen? Tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a break for a few minutes. We're going to come back and we're going to talk more baseball here on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Stop it!
If I was your mother and you had a drug problem, I'd grab you by the ear and make you call and get help. You can be in treatment tomorrow and start to get clean in 7 days. Follow Mom's advice and call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. Write this number down.
800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. That's 800-814-8628.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives.
Treatment helped me get my life back. I was so addicted, the only person I could focus on was myself and what I needed. I hit rock bottom and lost everything. Through treatment, I was able to overcome those demons and focus on my family again.
I used until I overdosed and almost died. That was the end of the road for me. After seeking treatment, I now have hope. I learned skills that help me deal with life on life's terms.
800-426-4994. 800-426-4994. 800-426-4994. That's 800-426-4994.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number:
800-876-7041. 800-876-7041. 800-876-7041. That's 800-876-7041.
Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Listen, folks, I've got a kind of a fun announcement here, and a very nice person did something very nice for myself and the Sports Circus, and I promised that I would give her a little bit of a plug here. And listen, we don't get anything for doing this. This is just one nice person doing something for somebody else that did a very nice thing for me. So I promised Nikki, who is an artist, Art from the Heart. I want you to check this out, folks. Art from the Heart. Imagine you need tattoo designs, family portraits, animations, pet portraits, all kinds of cool artwork. And we think of the mom and pop type of businesses. And we always like to promote the mom and pop businesses. Usually in this slot, it's Al's Number One Italian Beef at 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy at alsbeef.com. But right now, I'm going to talk about Nikki and Art from the Heart. Listen, I want you to take this email down. Think about this. You can actually get tattoo designs. A lot of people have tattoos, family portraits, animations, pet portraits, all kinds of cool artwork. We love that kind of stuff. Me personally, I love it. But I want you to take this down. It's N-I-K. Let me open this up just a little bit more. N-I-K and then 051683 at gmail.com. That's N-I-K 051683 at gmail.com. And if you want to get in touch with Nikki for these incredible works of art that she can create for you, again, whether it's tattoos or family portraits or pet portraits or animation, all kinds of cool items, she can make lots and lots of cool designs for you. You tell her what you want made. She could likely make it. And I'm looking at some of her work right now, and I have to tell you, it's very, very cool. And we love the mom and pop types. Art from the Heart. Take down this phone number, folks. 775-443-5214. 775-443-5214. 775-443-5214. Again, I don't get anything for saying this. I'm just trying to help somebody grow their business. And I love the fact that, look, they're out there breaking their backside, trying to do the right thing, and really working hard, and obviously has a very, very good skill. So listen, give Nikki a call again, 775-443-5214, and tell her Sal from the Sports Circus or Ringmaster Sal sent you. All right, welcome back to everybody on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. All of our viewers at Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Wild Charter, and independent cable affiliates in select markets. Hotel TV in over 500,000 rooms from coast to coast, where applicable. And of course, everybody watching on, or better yet, everybody listening on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, YouTube, Stitcher, Deezer, and all those other platforms as well. Folks, we're everywhere. You can't get away from us. Even, I imagine, the Mars rover. Anyway, moving on. All right, so now we're back to Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball has, of course, the winter meetings going on right now. I already went through the top position players. How about the top pitchers available? Now, I did mention some of these previously, and some of these are gone right now. So think about this. Framber Valdez was allegedly the top pitcher on the list prior to, or better yet, after the signing of Dylan Cease with the Toronto Blue Jays. So remember I mentioned Bo Bichette. The bigger question is, do the Blue Jays have enough money to re-sign Bo Bichette? We don't know. But back to the pitchers. So after Dylan Cease signed a 7-year deal, now it's Framber Valdez. This guy eats innings, postseason experience, really good past performance. He's solid. He really is. And then, of course, there's Ranger Suarez, who is with Philadelphia. Does Philadelphia have enough money after just blowing $150 million on Kyle Schwarber? Yeah, Ranger is a steady left-handed starter. Very good pitch mix, high demand rotation depth. This guy is good. And if he can stay away from the injury bug, he is a number 1 or a 2 in anybody's rotation. Now, Edwin Diaz is off the board as well because the Dodgers picked him up. The rich get richer there. But Zach Gallen is also available. Zach had a real big hiccup for about 2/3, 3/4 of the season last year. Not really sure what happened with him, but hopefully he finds it again. This guy is, again, he is a number one as I see it. He is a bona fide number one as long as he is throwing in the way that he has the ability. Not any kind of psychological issues, or he just can't seem to find himself out there, because sometimes pitchers lose it for a while, but then they regain it. Hallelujah. However, Arizona right now has him available. They haven't signed a long-term deal on him. Somebody's going to sign him, and I would imagine the Cubs will be a player for Zach Gallen, because I know they're looking for pitching. And who else is looking for pitching? Well, you have to say maybe the Milwaukee Brewers are, because the Brewers have made it known that, yes, they will deal Freddie Peralta for the right situation. And Freddie eats innings, low ERA, and Freddie he's one of the best ones in the league. But they said he is available in the same way that the Detroit Tigers said that Tarek Skubal is available. So Zach Gallen is out there. How about other guys like Muramaki, first baseman, third baseman, highly touted Japanese hitter, bring in international talent? This guy is out there. Hassan Kum. This guy, Hassan Kum, is available, and he's a utility infielder, plays outfield as well. He is available, but apparently the Tigers are taking a hard look at him. And Gleyber Torres, another Tiger, who's out there, second baseman, utility infielder, whatnot. Solid guy up the middle for any team. So these guys are available as well. And who's out there looking to make a deal? You say, well, geez, I don't know. Who has made deals? Who is off the board? And look at the highest strikeout percentage among relievers. Mason Miller, 43.1. Edwin Diaz, 38.4. Josh Hader, 37.4. Aroldis Chapman, 37.1, etc. And so you say, all right, from a closer standpoint, Diaz was the prize closer that's out there. But recent transactions, it was the Athletics, Luis Contreras, he signed a minor league deal. Alec Gamboa with the Red Sox signed a minor league deal. The White Sox signed Anthony Kay. He came over from the Japanese league, and he signed as a free agent deal. Basically, it's a team option for a couple of years, and then, or better yet, it's a 2-year deal with team option for a 3rd year. So essentially, it's a 2-year contract. I kind of like those with the team option. Randy Weiss signed a deal. He is a 1-year deal with an option for another year, 1-year contract. Vaughn Grissom by the Angels, traded from the Boston Red Sox for Isaiah Jackson. I think the Angels finally won a deal. Of course, I mentioned Diaz signed a 3-year deal. Kyle Schwarber signed a 5-year deal. Steven Matz signed a 2-year deal with the Tampa Bay Rays. So those guys are off the board. Also, remember, Mike Soroka off the board, signed a 1-year deal for Arizona. The A's signed Michael Stefanik, a minor league contract. The Braves signed Karinchak to a minor league deal. And here we go. And we go on and on with these. And you say, well, where does this stuff end? Why are they signing all these minor league deals? I'll tell you why, because they're positioning. And then you look at Carl Edwards with the Mets, signed a minor league deal. Dason Acosta signed as a free agent for a 1-year deal by the Padres. Now, there's a real question mark right over there, and we don't even know where to go. Cooper Hummel signed his deal with the Tampa Bay Rays. And he signed, essentially, to play in Japan. Logan Davison with the Rays signed a minor league deal. Tyler Wade. The reason they're doing these, folks, is to make room on the roster, or we know that they're going to have other deals coming up. And we go back to Ryan Noda with the Orioles. Signed his deal, but he was DFA'd. Just remember that. Actually, he didn't sign anything. He was just DFA'd. And then you have Bernabel. Signed a free agent deal, but refused a minor league assignment. He is a free agent, by the way. And it goes on and on. So what are we doing here? These teams are looking for options. And now you say, all right, what about the draft? Is this really a draft issue? I think it is. And when we look at the draft, we say, what do teams need? Look at the Reds. They have some free agents, Littell, Andujar, Martinez. They got free agents. They need to draft right. They've had a problem with that. 90 OPS plus. They're 26th in Major League Baseball. 1.19 ERA. Look, these guys are in trouble with the stick. The Reds need some real help. But the prize of the draft, it will go to the Chicago White Sox.
Yes!
White Sox won the draft. That's right. How exciting. So I'm a White Sox guy, so it is what it is, folks. But the White Sox end up winning the draft. And when we come back from break, I'm going to go down the draft breakdown and why these teams would take these particular players. And let's face it, the White Sox need all the help they can get right now. And some of the other teams do. But guess what? Ultimately, we're going to run through these, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come.
Excellent. Why isn't this an awkward moment?
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173.
Owning great property is almost impossible these days. At least, that's what people keep saying. They don't know about National Premier Properties. Do you have $350 or a credit card? You can own a great piece of property in a resort community. National Premier Properties has over 51 years of experience helping people just like you purchase amazing properties across the U.S. and in Mexico, Canada, the Bahamas. It takes less than 5 minutes to turn your dream into reality. Visit nationalpremierproperties.com and make it happen now.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com and head on over to the partners page. Lots of great partners over there. I mentioned Al's number one Italian beef briefly in the last segment. I'm also going to mention our friends over at Blue Oyster Cult. That's right, rock and roll legendary band Blue Oyster Cult. Partners of the Sports Circus, friends of the Sports Circus. There's a link right there. Click on thesportscircus.com's partners page, and you'll see the logo for Blue Oyster Cult, and that will take you, if you click on it, it'll take you right to their tour schedule. And also, you can pick up some of their fine merch. There's all kinds of great stuff out there. I just saw them on Halloween, as a matter of fact, right here in Las Vegas, and man, they still bring it. And I have to tell you, that I have seen them so many times, and they've been around forever, and they still sound right out of the box. No auto-tune, no backing tracks, no fix it in the mix garbage. No, they're out there. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They sound phenomenal. Check out Blue Oyster Cult, rock and roll legendary band, right there at thesportscircus.com. Click on the link. Check out their tour schedule, their merch, and whatnot. Listen, folks, again, we don't get anything for saying this. These are friends of the circus, and they really put on a great show. Check them out, folks. All right, welcome back to everybody. TV and radio, streaming, you know who you are. All those on Chicago Food Favorites as well. Thanks for joining us. That's a fun group. Talk about your favorite foods, your favorite restaurants, favorite recipes, make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. All right. Now over to the Major League Baseball draft. You say, well, certain teams are going to be looking for essentially giant holes to be filled in their rosters. I mean, look, now that the Major League Baseball draft was held, they held their lottery, and teams kind of know where they're picking. They know what they're looking for. The one thing we do know, the White Sox did secure the number one overall pick. Yes! And boy, did they need it. And they were improved from the previous year, but they really, really needed it. And it's remarkably obvious what's going to happen. The White Sox secured that pick through the lottery, and it's quite likely they're going to take UCLA's Rock Chalowski. This guy is the best all-around college shortstop, probably in the last 20 years since Troy Tulowitzki, back in 2005. And Chalowski would be the prohibitive favorite to become the first choice no matter which team. So obviously, it's likely that they will take him first. And let's face it, shortstops are the strength of the upcoming draft class when you look at it. And of course, with a wonderful forecast, MajorLeagueBaseball.com, they have their ideas of who's going to take who. And let's face it, everybody has an opinion. But that it really includes these 25 first-rounders, 13 college bats, 5 high school hitters, that's right, and 4 college arms, and 3 prep pitchers. Imagine that, 3 prep pitchers. So the White Sox likely will take Chalowski, as I mentioned, number one, very high baseball IQ, average speed, good arm, really good glove. And this guy, he's likely going to go. Player of the year as a sophomore and so forth. Moving on, I think the Tampa Bay Rays and MLB, we have the same idea in common. It's probably going to be Grady Emerson, shortstop from Fort Worth, Texas High School, Christian High School, Fort Worth Christian High School in Fort Worth, Texas. And a top prep prospect. Emerson could turn out to be a quicker version of Chalowski. However, Chalowski is a refined product. That's why the White Sox will likely take him. The Twinkies, Minnesota Twins, likely to take Justin LeBron, shortstop from Alabama, number 3. If LeBron can improve his approach, he could develop into a shortstop with 5 legitimate tools. I mean, the guy really is a potential 5-tool player. That means he's got a great arm, he's got a great glove, he's got great speed, he can hit for average and hit for power. Those are the 5 tools. Now, the San Francisco Giants are likely going to take, or they're probably going to really give high consideration to Georgia Tech product Drew Burress. He's an outfielder. He broke into college baseball with 9 homers in his first 8 games and hasn't really stopped hitting for power since. This guy's showing he does have a pretty good glove, and he's got some solid tools. He's going to need some work. He'll be a work in progress, but the guy's got a big bat. Maybe the Giants would move him up quicker. But the Giants play in the hardest ballpark to hit home runs with that heavy air. The Pirates end up picking 5. Jacob Lombard may be their prospect and may be their target. Gulliver Prep out of Miami, another shortstop, son of former big leaguer George Lombard, and brother of top Yankees prospect George Lombard Jr., Major League Baseball's number 25 prospect overall. He has less hitting ability, but maybe more power and speed than Emerson. So he's kind of the poor man's version. Well, that's what happens when you're the Pirates. You take the poor man's whatever. Now, picking 6th is the Kansas City Royals, and Carson Bowman might be their guy, a left-handed pitcher from Southside Christian High School in Simpsonville, South Carolina, number 7 overall. And Bowman has 4 quality pitches with control. Now, that's not really common these days. When I came up as a pitcher, I had 4 solid pitchers. Everybody I knew had at least 4 pitches. Usually it's fastball, curveball, slider change, or some variation. For me, it was fastball, curveball, knuckle curve, screwball, straight change. And those were essentially, and those were really the ones that I had to offer. And I also threw a sinker. But more importantly, if you could change speeds on your fastball and you could switch from 4-seam to 2-seam, now you're suddenly a 6-pitch pitcher. Because your 4-seam fastball would be probably anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 miles an hour less than your 4-seamer. It's just the way your fingers come off the ball, and it's a little bit harder to explain. But anyway, and it's also the fact of you've got 2 seams cutting into the wind, which makes the ball tail, technically, if you watch how the hand releases the ball. And just a lot of stuff happens with a 2-seamer. They're fun to watch. The Orioles picking 7th, Derek Curiel from LSU. And actually, this guy is projected to be a number 6, leading hitter on LSU's 2025 College World Series team. As a freshman, Curiel could go even higher if he develops more power and proves he can handle center field, according to MLB.com. Now, the Athletics picking 8th, projected to take the possible number 9 at Cameron Fluke from Coastal Carolina, right-handed pitcher. He ranks as the best pitching prospect because of his ability to get misses with mid-90s fastball and chases with an upper 70s downer curve. So this guy is one of those real crafty pitchers, even though he's right-handed, because usually the lefties are the crafty ones. But this guy has a lot of good stuff. And I tell you what, the A's really know how to draft players. They know how to develop players, and I'm glad they're coming right here to Vegas. Now, the Atlanta Braves picking 9th in the draft lottery. Gio Rojas is their target left-handed pitcher from Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. That's who is projected for the Braves to take. Not who they're going to take. It's projected. These are through MLB.com. Now, also the Rockies at number 10. Looks like, according to all the signs, Georgia Tech catcher Von Lackey. And this guy has only been lightly scouted in high school, but he has really done what you would hope somebody would do in college, and he is really a good backstop and a real patient approach to things. The Nats picking 11th. MLB projects them to take a right-handed pitcher, Liam Peterson, out of Florida, and some evaluators prefer Peterson's slightly louder stuff and perhaps louder and higher ceiling to Fluke's polished approach. So this guy's a little bit rough around the edges, but hey, listen, it's Washington. You never know what's going to happen. Angels picking all the way down to 12th. Boy, Perry Manassian doesn't get a break, man. This guy is really, really trying to shuffle a deck to get something here. And so what's projected is Sawyer Strasnider, outfielder from TCU. Now, he has one of the best combination of size, athleticism, and all-around tools, so he's just kind of a Swiss Army knife out there. There are probably better picks, but then again, what does Perry have to work with? The Cardinals could be targeting A.J. Gracia, outfielder from Virginia. And this guy is the first transfer on the list, and he arrived from my graduate school, I'm from Duke University, as an advanced hitter with plus power and fine instincts in center field. And luckily, he went to a good school. He went from Duke to a good school in Virginia. So he didn't really compromise too much from his academia. So he's probably a pretty high IQ guy, and that's what I expect from the Cardinals, to take smart players. The Marlins, on the other hand, looking at Chris Hakopian shortstop from Texas A&M, and he might be the best pure hitter in the college ranks today. And this guy has a feel for the barrel, and he knows how to barrel them up and control the strike zone. He knows what's going on. He has a real good insight of the strike zone. D-backs picking 15th, maybe targeting Tyler Spangler, another shortstop, De La Salle High School, Concord, California. That's up in the Bay Area, in case you don't know. This guy's 6'3", and people say, well, maybe he's like a lefty hitting Cal Ripken or Corey Seager. I don't know. That's pretty lofty projections, and I'm not so sure, but guess what? When you're picking 15th, you're going to have to make anything up you can. The Rangers, boy, they have really made a lot of people scratch heads lately. The Rangers may be targeting Jackson Flora, according to MLB.com, right-handed pitcher out of UC Santa Barbara, and he has some pretty good potential, and he could give UC Santa Barbara top college pitcher selection for the third time in a dozen drafts, following Dylan Tate and Tyler Bremner. So maybe Jackson Flora is the guy. Maybe he isn't. The Astros, number 17, Ace Reese. What a great baseball name. Ace Reese. We like that. Third baseman out of Miss State, and a massive raw power. May leave his hitting ability a tad underrated, of course, though there are questions about his defensive ability. And at third base, you don't want questions. You need a solid hot corner. The Reds, picking all the way down to 18th, according to MLB.com, they could be targeting Caden Sorrell, outfielder from Texas A&M, and both of his grandfathers, Tom Griffin, Billy Sorrell, played in the bigs, and he has the all-around ability to get there as well, but it doesn't really say too much. So he's playing on a decent squad at A&M, but that doesn't really say anything about him. I mean, I would rather look for the Cleveland Guardians, their pick at Eric Becker, and they would technically be picking down, shortstop out of Virginia, but this guy is a similar profile to his brother Nick at number 12. And offensive-minded, he is actually Seattle's number 12 prospect, offensive-minded middle infielder whom the Mariners drafted in the second round last July. The Red Sox may be looking at Tyler Bell, another shortstop out of Kentucky, highest unsigned choice in the last draft, supplemental second round by the Rays, and Bell profiles as a switch hitter with 20 home run pop. And the Padres at 21, left-handed pitcher, Logan Schmidt. Tigers, Rocco Maniscalco, shortstop out of Oxford, Alabama. The Cubs may be looking at Chris Rembert, according to MLB.com. Second baseman out of Auburn, War Eagle. Number 24, the Mariners, Gabe Gablick. Right-handed pitcher, Arkansas, 24. And that's going to do it, because we'll stop at number 25, Trevor Condon for the Milwaukee Brewers out of Woodstock, Georgia. Anyway, by the way, Mets, Yankees, forget it. You'll be picking at the end. That's going to do it for the circus today. I'm your ringmaster, Sal. We'll see you in 23 hours on your favorite station right here. So long, everyone.
Owning great property is almost impossible these days. At least, that's what people keep saying. They don't know about National Premier Properties. Do you have $350 or a credit card? You can own a great piece of property in a resort community. National Premier Properties has over 51 years of experience helping people just like you purchase amazing properties across the U.S. and in Mexico, Canada, the Bahamas. It takes less than 5 minutes to turn your dream into reality. Visit nationalpremierproperties.com and make it happen now.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.